Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. We're here at Amblin, an eye-catching condo situated in the seaside village of Buku. It is our location for today's episode, and we cannot wait to show you all this wonderful property has to offer. Also, in the next half hour, we've got lots in store for you as we recap the major events in Tobago over the past week. So stay with us for all the details. I'm Davia Chambers, and Let's Talk Tobago starts right now. The Tobago House of Assembly presented and debated the island's fiscal 2023 budget request. We've got a breakdown just for you. Nearly 700 families benefit from home improvement support from the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. Planned Clinic Mondays are set to resume in-person sessions. And later, the NLTB Buccaneers Steel Orchestra gives thanks as the organization turns 55. We have all these stories and more for you when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Amblin is a quiet, charming condo. It's got 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and can comfortably house 6 guests. You can also enjoy an excellent range of amenities, a fully equipped kitchen, a welcoming balcony and a pool. Whether it's a family vacation or a line with friends, there's room for you right here. The Tobago House of Assembly recently presented the island's fiscal 2023 budget request of almost $4 billion at the Assembly Legislature. Then it was the turn of the members to debate the contents of the budget. We have some highlights of the debate in this story. Have a look.
Proceedings for the $3.97 billion fiscal package presented by the Chief Secretary and Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy earlier on June 23, 2022 was now to be debated, pending majority approval in the legislature chamber. The estimates of revenue and expenditure for the Tobago House of Assembly for fiscal 2023 were scrutinized by the Minority Leader and Assemblyman for Darrell Spring Wim, Kelvin Morris, who cautioned the administration that its expectations may be improbable. While he commended some listed items, the Minority Leader questioned the feasibility of salary increases for URP and CPEP.
Given that the requested allocation in the estimates remained at $8 million for URP, the question is, how would such an increase be sustained?
The minority also questioned the administration's plans for several sectors, including the fishing industry.
While it was shared that the fishing industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, there was no clear plan on how we would tap into this industry to generate real revenue.
In her rebuttal, Assemblyman for Bell Garden, Glamorgan, Dr. Faith B. Yisrael, reminded the minority that the current administration has only been in office since December. Dr. B. Yisrael says the budget request laid by the Honorable Chief Secretary Fali Augustine remains within legal parameters.
If we look at all of the estimates, all of the $3.97 billion, because it really does represent the 6.9% of what we estimate the national budget to be. Because in 2000, there was a ruling that said we can get up to 6.9%.
Further contributions from the House endorsed the Chief Secretary's fiscal 2023 budget presentation.
The division should point to, in fiscal 2023, through the programs and projects identified, the division intends to start the redevelopment of agriculture, fisheries and forestry in Tobago to enable greater environmental and food security. The division will also participate actively in the formulation of Tobago's development plan and associated medium-term expenditure framework, which will provide the context in which its future annual expenditure programs, policies and incentives for the sector development will be designed.
Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary says stakeholder consultations will be ongoing for the 2023 budget.
We will continue that conversation, but one thing the PDP is known for is public engagement and speaking to the people of Tobago. We have never been fearful of that. And so that conversation will continue.
In the end, the motion was put to a vote and passed by way of simple majority. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we've shared the views of the Assemblymen on the fiscal 2023 budget request. But what are Tobagonians looking forward to? Well, our production crew took to the streets to find out from residents their budget expectations. Listen up.
The 2021-2022 fiscal year is nearing its end. As we speak, the Tobago House of Assembly is already conducting pre-budget consultations. That's why we have decided to take to the streets to find out what wishes you have for the upcoming financial year. Let's go.
I'd like to see a better bus service to go to the country. We need to get the expense down because you're working, you're not, your salary is the same and everything gone up sky high. So we need better infrastructure and better management. So I hope that they would manage the country, the island better.
Guys from Charlottesville, and we just catch with tail sometimes to get transportation. And we need better service. Better service. We need the food prices to drop. Everything just gone up. Money is not there and everything just gone up. You're going to grocery today, tomorrow you're going next day, everything gone up. And people have to live.
My expectation is for the government of Trinidad and Tobago to do better where food prices are concerned.
And Tong will say gratuity. Everybody is interested in gratuity. So too am I and my colleagues. Yeah, gratuity it is.
While the 2023 THA budget request moves ahead for further assessment, the public will still have the chance to offer suggestions via social media and other platforms catering for stakeholder engagement. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development continues to respond to the social needs of Tobagonians, especially the most vulnerable residents, through several of its programs. It's the motivation behind the island's single largest grant distribution ceremony held at Shaw Park Complex. We have more in this report. Rennie Kwao, Olympic medalist and one of this country's most decorated 400 meters athletes, now has his own home. Rennie was recently honored by the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. He received keys to a home at Plymouth's Homes of Adventure.
It feels good, you know, all my hard work over the years. You know, I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, hard work pays off, so in the end, you know, I was expecting something like this, so I really appreciate it though.
Yes, I do really feel happy about it, and it's hard work paid off. We're very happy.
Additionally, close to 700 families in Tobago got checks to improve their homes. In all, $9 million was presented to the families, making it the largest single disbursement by the Settlements Division.
These times call for financial acumen, prudence, strategic direction, and most importantly, compassion. This is also important to me and Assistant Secretary George. Nothing is more important than caring for our people, and today's disbursement of $9.2 million in our public commitment to upholding our oath of office.
And is an indication that we understand the need to respond to the growing social needs of our island's people, especially the most vulnerable.
Chief Secretary of Tobago, Honorable Fali Augustine, says his administration aims to develop the greatest little island on the planet. The first step, protecting and caring for the most vulnerable.
We know what it is to have humble dwellings, but dwellings that are well taken care of, clean and immaculate. This program is part of a larger dream that we have for the Tobago that we are called to serve. It's a dream that we will have home ownership that Tobagonians can afford. And you should never be in a position that you can't afford to live here. It's a dream that when people are affected by natural disasters, you can immediately, without a whole heap of red tape, get help.
Our mandate is to provide an adequate standard of living for everyone, regardless of color, complexion, denomination, that is religious, or political persuasion.
And those who received grants were eager to begin the necessary work to improve their homes.
Yes, I thought they had forgotten me, but when I got the call to come today, I felt really elated. Yeah, I am not going to stick because I've been waiting for so long. Yeah, so I'm going to get my hands on material and begin work as soon as possible.
The check distribution ceremony was hosted at the Shore Park Complex. It's time for a break, but up next, the newly installed board of the Tobago Tourism Agency shares some of its plans for Tobago. We'll tell you more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
I decided to take the vaccine to first provide protection for myself and my family and the people around me, including my co-workers and everybody I come into contact with, including the public. In the course of my duties, I am heavily engaged in public discussion, public meets, and I do a lot of investigations in the public. So I decided, based on the empirical data provided and based on advice of my physician, that the vaccine is the way to go to protect us all. So, vax up, protection starts with us.
Staycations, airlifts, and sustainability. Those are some areas of focus for the new board of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, or TTAL. Omadara Mills caught up with Chairman Alicia Edwards to get the scoop on some of the agency's plans for tourism in Tobago. Here's more.
In the coming months, Destination Tobago will participate in a number of road shows and travel markets. This will ensure Tobago's source market partners are aware that the island is ready to welcome visitors and provide them with great memories. That's just one of the plans of the new 12-member Board of Directors at the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, TTAL. Another area of focus for the new board is making the most out of the airlift opportunities, especially the one coming out of the United States.
One of the things that we're hopping on is the fact that there's now a direct flight between JFK and Tobago. Previously, the agency had no direct marketing interaction or support in the US market, and we're working now to create a situation where we have a rep in the US market. The links, first of all, the diaspora demand, and also getting into just generic demand from that particular market.
And even as we look to attract more foreign visitors, the chairman of TTAL gives the assurance that our domestic market will not be neglected. So promoting staycations is another key factor in increasing visitor arrivals.
The second thing that we would be interested in is focusing a little more on domestic marketing. What COVID has shown us is that while it's all right for us to focus on the external market for tourism, we cannot get away from the staycations and the domestic demand that can help to buoy us through a future rough period.
Since the board's appointment about 3 months ago, there's been questions about the Tobago Beyond branding. Ms. Edwards says her team sees the valuable potential this label has for the island.
The Tobago Beyond Ordinary gives us an opportunity to build out and round out our marketing message to really showcase all the things that make Tobago special, or harvest, or culture, the way that we could just go and buy fresh fish, and all the things that just make my island beautiful. So we definitely would be working on using local content, using local influencers, more local music, more local shots, basically selling the destination from the eyes of a Tobagonian.
The new board will also continue to support the agency's sustainability strategies, like facilitating the Green Key and Blue Flag certification programs.
They have gotten the Green Key and they're working on the Blue Flag certification, and we think that if we're going to continue to sell ourselves as a Beyond Ordinary island, those international certifications will help us to position ourselves properly in that market, and also as well to perpetuate the narrative that we're actually doing the things that we say we want to be doing.
The board will also work with TTAL's employees as well as local stakeholders to strengthen the island's offerings to visitors. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Atlantic storms are not to be taken lightly. In fact, they can be downright devastating. That's why the disaster readiness authorities and the first responders in Tobago are making sure the island can respond to emergencies brought on by natural disasters. And following recent weather activity, we look at how the island has been preparing. Here's more in this story.
Planning and preparation can make a huge difference, especially when it comes to getting ready for the hurricane season. The most recent reminder came on June 28th and 29th, with the Trinidad and Tobago Met Service announcing that the country had been placed on storm watch. Thankfully, the island was spared severe storm activity. However, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency TEMA and cooperating agencies were ready to respond to any resulting emergency.
Were we prepared? Yes, we were. We have been down this road already. It's not our first rodeo with a tropical storm level strength. We have the history of managing Hurricane Ivan, the November severe weather of 2004, and the following year, 2005, we had also the tropical storm Emily. All of these events we would have managed quite clearly. That we would have activated the Emergency Operations Center just about 24 hours ago, and during that period, we would have received 11 reports so far as to what may have happened. During this window of operations, or this theater of operations, the leadership of having the Honorable Chief Secretary taking charge and leading this charge, it was very, very easy for us to coordinate this event. And that gave rise to a level of preparedness and readiness.
This rainy season is expected to be an active one, which will put emergency responders to the test. Mr. Stewart says his team takes the hurricane season seriously. He says they're prepared to manage emergency situations, and Mr. Stewart is calling on Tobagonians to prepare too, so they can be resilient in the face of a disaster. In addition, the island already has many volunteers who will support its efforts.
This is what gives rise to the CERT 1000 Strong program, which garner at this stage over 625 CERT registrants. This gives us the manpower that is so much needed, especially if we have what you may call a catastrophic event. So we are preparing Tobago for, and we want the Tobagonians themselves in all of the sectors, the private sector, the public sector, the community level, to build resilience going forward.
Tobago wasn't hard hit by the passing tropical wave. However, to give a report.
11 reports so far as to what may have happened. Among those 11 reports, they all happen in 11 different jurisdictions or villages across the island of Tobago, some of which comprise of 2 roof reports, and most of them, 4 of them being fallen trees impacting other areas. One of them would have been a house that collapsed completely, and that would be considered to be the most severe.
To ensure you're as ready as possible for any emergency, here's a few tips you can follow. Make sure you have a battery-operated radio. Secure important documents in a waterproof bag or container. Get a properly working flashlight and extra batteries. And of course, find out which emergency shelter is closest to you. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Just like people and animals, plants can get sick. And when they do, you can take them to be diagnosed and treated just as you would visit a doctor. Umar Mills tells us about a clinic for plants that the public will soon be able to access. Here's this story.
I decided to see what the Plant Protection Unit's plant clinic is like. On this particular day, I brought samples of a few plants like chocolate mint and rosemary. Plant protection specialist Casey Marie Boucher-Koon asked me a few questions, made several observations about the samples, then checked them out using a microscope and came up with a diagnosis. It turns out the chocolate mint has been infected with a soft scale insect, while the rosemary plant is infected with an armored scale insect. Casey Marie then gave me several recommendations for treating with the pests. That's the process clients can expect when they come to Plant Clinic Mondays, a service that will restart in July of this year.
Now that things have improved concerning COVID-19, we will now be reopening our plant clinics on the first Monday in July, which is the 4th of July 2022, and that is now going to be returning to the face-to-face format of the planned clinic setting. That clinic will be available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Monday, except on public holidays, of course. The clinic serves to give you a real-time response to a pest or disease issue. So when you come into the clinic, you will get an answer to your question. You will get the recommendation to help you within a short space of time.
Plant Clinic Mondays will take place at the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development's head office. It's located on the corner of Milford Road and Sherburne Road. The mandate of the unit is to aid in food security by reducing crop losses brought on by pests and diseases. So in-person plant clinics is a great way to find out the state of plant health on the island.
What it also does for us on a national basis is that it's a form of soft surveillance. So something might be happening latently in the community, and because of the plant clinic, once people start reporting strange occurrences in terms of plant health issues early, we would be able to detect plant health issues at a faster rate, rather than waiting for an explosion of a said pest to know that we have a problem on the island.
But plant clinics aren't the only services provided by this unit. The plant protection specialist tells us of their other functions.
The services we provide to help farmers and growers alike are diagnostic field visits. That is where we come out to you depending upon a request. Most of our requests come via the extension department, or you can make direct requests to the plant protection unit. We also do some laboratory diagnostics. We also do plant clinics, and we are also responsible for surveillance and eradication exercises. We also do some training for farmers and home gardeners in the diagnosis of common pests and their management.
Even as the face-to-face plant clinic Mondays are to resume, people can still access the virtual plant clinics via WhatsApp. So if you have a plant problem or you want more information, you can call 482-7528. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have to take another break, but do not go away. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. The Roxborough Police Youth Club is taking its activities outdoors once again. This time, the club is reintroducing its Night Football League, which is giving young residents yet another opportunity to occupy their time in a very meaningful way.
The Roxborough Police Youth Club has used the slowdown of the last 2 years to regroup, recollect and re-emerge as the club put on the Chief Secretary's Cup football competition. The league has been around for the past 25 years. It was born as a means of giving young people a positive outlet. Club leader Collis Hazel says the tournament has had the desired effect. He's happy to see it make its return.
Because we were faced with a lot of break-ins that were taking place in the night, we decided that we must do something to create leisure opportunities for people in the night so that they will not fall prey to social ills in society. And hence the reason why this competition was born.
Sport teaches us values like fairness, team building, discipline, inclusion and respect. Sport and recreation aid the holistic development of youth and for the greatest talents can provide a fulfilling career. This is why Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine believes the league is beneficial to the Roxborough community.
It's important that we continue to use sports as an avenue through which we could develop communities, especially that subsector of young men. That subsector of young men who are most likely, statistically, to get into trouble. And so I want you all to play with your hearts out. I want you all to play clean, play honestly. I'm wishing you again all the best.
Special commendation were given to the players who exercised patience even after the hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
You, the footballers, without you, this competition could not have been possible. You have stood in the trenches and you have worked hard and you continue to play hard and you continue to support the league. And we are very grateful that you as community leaders have continued to see the success of sports and particular night football.
12 teams are participating in the league. The winners will walk away with the grand prize of $30,000. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
NLCB Buccaneers Steel Orchestra has reached an impressive milestone. The organization recently turned 55. It's been one of the most consistent steel orchestras on the island over the years, and so its 55th birthday was a fitting occasion to give thanks. We have the highlights in this story. The NLCB Buccaneers came alive last weekend as the Steel Orchestra celebrated its 55th anniversary with a Thanksgiving service.
55 years means that there is something done in the orchestra that was not done by you. It was done by Almighty God. So Thanksgiving must not be limited to this evening. It mustn't be limited to if we are called to give thanks, we give thanks. It must be a lifestyle.
According to Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Councillor Tashia Burris, the band remains resilient, consistent and well organized. She says this is illustrated in NLCB Buccaneers earning many titles, including the first place medium band in National Panorama 2013 and its record as a finalist for over 10 consecutive years.
Steel orchestras and other groups form the bedrock of our communities and have been responsible over the years for honing some of our best and brightest talents. They teach the values of commitment, discipline, love for community and the country, and respect for oneself and others. Undoubtedly, the contribution of the Buccaneers Steel Orchestra to Tobago's cultural development and entertainment landscape is noteworthy.
I think the steel band could expand so much more effectively if on a, well, I worship on Sabbaths, if on a Sabbath morning or on a Sunday morning at church, if we had more steel pans to mix with the conventional instruments to give the service that lift. And I want to encourage Buccaneers to consider that market. I'm making it public now.
Also bringing greetings on behalf of the Pan fraternity were Chairman Pan Tobago, Beverly Ramsey Moore, and Chairman of Pan Tobago, Tobago Region, Celicia James.
I am so elated. I'm so happy to be here celebrating with NLCB Buccaneers. You know, in everything we ought to give God thanks for his goodness. You know, his goodness just keep running down. Just keep running down over us. And for a steel orchestra to be here celebrating 55 years, it tells you that a lot has gone on in terms of the strength and the power of the leadership of this organization. Steel band organization is not an easy thing. All of them know that already.
A band with longevity, perseverance, with skilled and talented players, a pillar in their community. So cheers to NLCB Buccaneers to another 55 years.
Prayers were also delivered for the band and its executive. We've come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on Amblin Condo, you can contact Ambika at 759-0598 or email bikarjune@gmail.com. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week.
when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, the one and only morning show. We are live here in Port Mall, Scarborough, and I am your favorite youth host, your favorite youth host this morning, Dwayne Nurse.
And I am Aliyah Wola, and you are viewing Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, which comes to you live from M&E TV, YouTube, Facebook, TobagoUpdates.com, 91.9, Smash Radio T, and Guile. Good morning, Dwayne, and how are you?
Good morning to you, Miss Hola. I have several bones to pick with you, you know.
True.
Several bones. You're always outside, right? And never inviting me. I don't like that, and I'm growing very tiresome of that. Right?
But everything that's been on a Sabbath, and I know
you always
that
this Sabbath thing. You need to come down from there.
Sabbath.
You need to come down from there this morning.
Okay, so the next party that we outside for, it don't matter what time it is, I'm going to get you a comp, and you better be there.
Right.
So you have no excuse not to be there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the
Satisfied?
gesture in advance.
All right.
Right? I'm holding it to that.
No problem.
Right. So guys, what do we have happening in this space besides a lot of rain?
Well, over this weekend there was fun-packed weekend for youth. There was Island Crushers, paint, and Island Crushers had about 5 days with 5 different events, starting from the Thursday and ending on the Sunday, and then we had paint Saturday morning.
Which you went to, you know, and we had an engagement. He kind of set me up with an engagement, but I got boasted about my engagement afterward. But I just want to big up the fact that we had a lot of visitors on the island, and you know, once you have a lot of visitors, we have a lot of economic activity happening for Tobago, which is great. You know, given that this is a post-pandemic, we kind of still jostling with the pandemic a bit, but we are kind of rising out of the ashes and so on, pertaining to the economics of Tobago. But I don't know what you think about that.
So I think that it was a very good opportunity for persons to come to the island and see what we have to offer. Also, I believe that the persons who would have always come for these events, but they haven't gotten the opportunity for 2 years, and after 2 years they got the opportunity to come and also see how Tobago has transitioned in 2 years and see what they missed out and what's actually going to happen to that. So it's good for us and our economy.
And I don't know, I have never attended any of these events, but I heard that tickets went as high as $800.
Yeah, that's normal.
So it's normal.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the comments that was made pertaining to these events is that people were so locked up that they would rush to anything, and tickets was selling out like real rapidly, and so on.
Like this week, FOC tickets dropped, and within half an hour, early bird was sold out. Then the next half an hour, on time was sold out. And the next half an hour, so everything was just sold out. But besides that, in this space, we saw that there were persons killed this weekend in within 36 hours, and then there was a big riot in Trinidad.
Like, I was very much shocked about that. Like 36 hours, you know, like, and so over 20 persons. Yeah, that is like really questionable, and sometimes I wonder what is really happening as it pertains to prevention of crime. Is it really up to the stakeholders alone, the government? Is it only left up to the police? Who is really responsible for crime and crime prevention? And is it TTPS only limited to solving crimes post the events happening? And sometimes I wonder what really is the answer.
True.
And you know,
well, let's pick up in there and go over to Candice Jackson with news in 90 seconds.
Right.
Thank you, Dwayne and Aliyah. Here's your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 6 July 2022.
Contract renewals are not automatic within the Tobago House of Assembly. A letter from the Chief Secretary to all secretaries, assistant secretaries, and administrators stated that when an employment contract comes to an end, re-engagement is not guaranteed. He explained that if the contracted employee wants re-engagement, they must submit a file with an updated resume and staff appraisal. The line secretary will then use that information to determine if the individual should be re-engaged. Failure to provide the necessary documents will result in delays and an outright denial of approval. Meanwhile, all workers attached to the tourism industry are invited to a special town hall meeting this afternoon. The meeting will be hosted by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. From the meeting, the division hopes to understand the challenges faced by workers in the industry. They are also looking out for solutions and ideas workers have towards improving the tourism industry. The town hall meeting is scheduled for 5 p.m. today at the Ann Mitchell Gift Auditorium in the Scarborough Library. And now for some news coming out of Trinidad. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines wants citizens to report police officers who break the law to the Police Complaints Authority. Hines was responding to questions posed by the opposition in Parliament yesterday about Monday's protest actions in and around Port of Spain. Recently, the PCA concluded 2 investigations and determined there was an abuse of power by police. The DPP is now investigating the reports to determine what action should be taken against the officers. Meanwhile, officers named in the report are assigned to desk duty awaiting an outcome. And that was in news in 90 seconds. Back to you, Aaliyah and Dwayne.
Thank you, Candice. Thank you very much for that, for news in 90 seconds. So we're going over to birthdays. And first, it would be remiss of me and us, as a Tobago Updates family, to not big up again the Honorable Chief Secretary for celebrating his birthday on the 1st of July last Friday. And more than that, to celebrate that, he would have traveled to, to Barbados, him and his wife, to just spend some quality time together. I hope, they enjoyed it and so on, and I hope that he got much needed rest, being that he's up and about all the time. And I hope that, we see some little he's running around in about 6 to 9 months.
Is that a good thing you said? You had the right to say it, not me.
Me, I don't have any right. So who do we have next for birthdays?
For birthdays this morning, we have Miss Oslin Johnson, sending out love from her husband, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and the Richardson family. Happy birthday to you.
All right. Happy birthday to you. And finally, we have, this is not a birthday shout-out, but we want to big up with boy Royal Brown for being the valedictorian of the Signal Hill Comprehensive School. He's a very brilliant and promising young man. He his roots heals all the way from the east, Charlottesville, right, of the very best, from the Brown family. So I want to big up the Brown family for producing such a young and promising young man. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, academically and all aspects of your life. So for the rundown this morning, we have first a new tourism secretary.
Yeah.
A new tourism secretary, right? Thank you very much, Ms. Holder. A new tourism secretary. Stay tuned to see who that new tourism secretary is. Why was Secretary Boris replaced by this new secretary? Or is she replaced at all? And who do we have next?
Up next on the rundown, we will have a guest speaking about Monster Mentality Football Tournament. And to close off the show, we have recap from Paint This Summer by Dynasty Event.
All right. So that will be the rundown for you this morning, guys. Just stay tuned for us. We have a lot of good stuff for you in store. Don't forget to
share the live.
We'll be right back.
Good morning. The this world is getting so cold.
My Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolines, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Youth Tenzies and Tobago Up This Morning Show. We are live here in Portmore, Scarborough, and we have with us the new appointed, elected Secretary of Tourism. She's quite young. She's still in school. Quite amazing. She's still in school and has such a big role. And we are chilling with the new elected Secretary of Tourism, Culture in the Division of Tourism Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Miss Jenny Brathwaite of the Signal Hill Comprehensive School, Tobago. I must put in the Tobago because Tobago doing big things, right? So good morning to you, Miss Brathwaite. How are you?
Good morning, I'm fine.
All right. It's great to be in your presence, man. The new appointed Secretary of Tourism. That is one of the flagship divisions in the THA. So just tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Jenny Brathwaite, as he recently stated. I'm 17 years of age. I his secondary school. Some things that I like to do, I really like to travel. I enjoy learning new things from new people. I'm a small business owner.
We could pick up that small business afterwards, right?
Yes, there's something small on the side, and yeah, that's about it.
Wow, so love to travel. So you will be that secretary who will bring back great ideas for the island.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So how did you get here? How did you get to being the new youth tourism secretary for this?
Okay, so this is quite a funny story. One day I was sitting at home, watching TV, and my teacher, Mrs. Karujak, she called and she was like, "Jenny, do you want to go up for the youth congress?" I was like, "Miss, the youth congress?" She was like, "Do you want to go up for to be the junior secretary for Tobago? It would be a good opportunity," and she believed that I have the potential to go there and do good. So I was like, definitely, because it's hard to say no to Miss Karujak.
Big up Miss Karujak, by the way. We have a big ship now.
Yes.
Big ship.
It's really hard to say no to her because she has done an excellent thing for me. So I was like, okay. Miss, and
yes.
Okay, in the hard work and you're coming out victorious, hopefully. So.
At that point, you could not have been hopeful, but it was a definite surety that you came out victorious.
Yes.
So what is it like to participate in this semblance of governance at such a young level?
It's quite, I ran out of speeches, but it's quite.
It's an eye-opening thing for you.
Yes,
you know?
it's quite an experience because when I met with Mrs. Tasha Boris, she actually talked to me about an extent of things. She told me of the opportunities that I will have in going into this position, and I was like, okay, Jenny, this is something that, you know, it surrounds what you like to do, it surrounds your island, which you are really passionate about, and definitely it's going to be an experience that you will enjoy, an experience that will stay with you for life in a sense. So yes.
Yeah, but are you just in awe of this young lady, you know, about her passion and so on? And we were talking offset, and it'd be interesting to note that this experience have pushed her to further pursue her studies in tourism. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And I want to big up teachers at this time who take the time to bring out to tap into the dormant potential in your students, and that is so evident here this morning. And I want to say thank you to all the teachers, and especially Miss
Patrice Carrot Jack.
Mrs. Patrice Carrot Jack for doing such a wonderful work with you, right? So how would you really define tourism for Tobago?
Okay, well, tourism looks at persons moving outside of their usual environment for leisure, businesses or other purposes. While in Tobago, we are focused on marketing Destination Tobago to these persons to give them the opportunity to visit our island, to experience these things in which they will be coming to our island for. As you know, we are part of a twin island, and domestic tourism plays a part in our society as well. So persons will be coming from Trinidad to Tobago for events such as Island Crashers, the Guinness Great Vet Weekend. Like these little things that will be happening will play a part in our tourism as well.
Wow. Well, yeah. Goosebumps, and I'm very proud to hear you speak as such a, you know, very articulate and so on. And I think you'll make a very good tourism secretary someday, man. I vote in for you, right? But what is your perspective of tourism on the island? You know, are we thriving? Are we failing? Are we falling behind? What is your perspective?
Honestly, I would say that the COVID-19 pandemic has definitely affected tourism globally. It has made it worse for a lot of persons. However, the House of Assembly, the Tobago House of Assembly, they have made steps to ensure that, you know, we have the opportunity to thrive once again. For example, there's the development of an orange economy, which is a creative economy. The budget presentation spoke about the development of an arts festival known as the Melee Festival. It will discuss our heritage in a sense, the movement towards marketing Destination Tobago more aggressively, and lastly, the making Tobago a filmmakers' paradise. This will allow the younger generation to have the opportunity to experience and explore their talents more, and it will definitely create a multiplier effect within our economy and increase the GDP overall. So,
gosh, I'm loving this interview. I really am. Can't contain myself this morning, right? But I love tourism as well, because I think it's so much more Tobago could offer pertaining to this. But do you think we have been appropriately using like the ecotourism slogan for tourism for Tobago?
Yes, definitely. We have been using this slogan appropriately. Well, ecotourism is defined as responsible visit to natural areas that conserves the environment. It sustains the well-being of the people on the environment. It sustains the well-being of the persons who are local to the area, and it involves interpretation and education. For example, the Main Ridge Reserve, in which we have, which is the oldest forest reserve in the world. We won the Man on the Biosphere Award, which certifies us as the oldest forest reserve, and this basically, it attracts ecotourists, and they will definitely want to come to our island. They will definitely branch us off into that ecotourism niche. Correct. And it will, essentially when they come to our island, you know, there will be a lot of spending, because then we have a lot of natural sites to see, and it will increase the GDP. It will create a multiplier effect within the economy. And in addition to this, there have been movements to protecting the sea turtles in which come into our beaches at Turtle Beach. We have blue flag certification at Kings Bay, which basically states that, you know, the beaches are eco-friendly, pollution-free. These things to eco-tourists. And lastly, ERIC, which is Environmental Research Institute of Charlottesville. They look at conserving the island, protecting it, and ensure that the environment is rich. Right. And the persons on the northeast side have that opportunity to preserve the island, essentially. So yes, I definitely believe that we are using the ecotourism slogan for our tourism correctly. Correct.
And that's amazing. And you spoke about interpretation, and for those who don't know, a part of ecotourism, interpretation is just basically the touch and taste and the experience, the things that people leave with when they experience the tourism product in an ecotourism environment like ours in Tobago. So that it might be the flyers, it might be signage, it might be other things, other tangible and intangible things that lend towards the product. And that's amazing that you at such a anyway, let's have some more conversations. Miss Brathwaite, what are some benefits of ecotourism to Tobago? You know, do you see that we should adopt some more of the ecotourism practices? Because you said earlier we have some designations like the Man in the Biosphere, we have some blue flag certification. Mm-hmm. Do you see the need for us to adopt more of these ecotourism practices to lend to a more robust product for Tobago?
Yes, and the current administration is making the necessary steps to do this. But essentially, ecotourism has an extent of benefits for Tobago. It will allow us to build our economy overall and preserve it without harming the environment, essentially. And also, it allows us to engage in practices that will preserve the environment for the future generations. So, waste management, recycling, these things that are important for our society to thrive, to ensure that, you know, it will last long, are things that they are currently moving towards. Recycling bins have been placed by an extent of the schools within Trinidad and Tobago. For example, Signal Secondary School, when you visit the school, there's a large bin outside. It forces you to want to recycle. It forces you it forces you to want to preserve the island, which is really important to a lot of young persons. To they need to learn this, and it is causing us to learn it, essentially.
Right. And I know you spoke about the fact that we need ecotourists are looking for these pillars, these activities to come to an island to experience the naturalness, the adventurism, and all these kind of things, and the sustainability. But interestingly, we have a lot. That is where tourism is trending globally now, and I think it's a very good thing. And finally, my final question to you, unfortunately, as Secretary of Tourism, what are some key policy areas you think should be implemented to ensure that we are the best, or we stay the best?
Okay, key policy areas that I think that we should implement will be the creation of new and innovative products like immersive museums, as I stated in my presentation on Friday, innovative marketing strategies of digital marketing, of user-generated content, strategies for dealing with the airlift issues for source markets from such as the United States, and policies for dealing with customer service within our society across the tourism sector. So these are definitely areas that I will.
Right, and I want to put it out there as well. It's also important that we look at a draft ecotourism policy that dictates all of these things for Tobago, because without that, you know, we are just really speaking in a vacuum, right? A policy is the driving tool to ensure that we achieve our goals as an island.
Indeed.
And then I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm so elated and so pleased to hear you speak so articulate about such an important issue for Tobago, and I really wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
So they'll just big up that business day quick before you go.
My name of my business is Touche de Boudoir, which is Touch of Beauty. It looks at selling like lip care products. Right now it's gonna on pause because then I have more important things to do.
You understand, as a secretary and all.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it's currently on pause, but hopefully I want to start it back like before
So
the
just
year
tell them
is
quickly
out.
where they could find that business: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Okay, you can follow my business at Touche, TOUCHE _DEBEATUE on Instagram, and well, that's it.
That's it. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Prathwaite, for being here. It was a pleasure. Guys, big up Johnny in the chat, please. I want to see the steam. So that's it. That is it for us, guys. We have more for you. Alia is up next. So just remember to say it with me. Share the live.
Share the live. Share the live. Share the live.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Shagaramas. The Giants of Trinidad and Tobago on one stage.
Come and celebrate with us as we celebrate life and give thanks for the music. And we go down like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill. We have a style like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill.
Guess the band.
You want to know where we coming from? Say you want come look for me. Yeah. If you're willing to have some fun, I could keep you company.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
There is nowhere else in the world you could see all of these giants on one stage.
Guess the band. Michelle Montano, Freetown Collective, 3 Canal, Orange Sky, plus many more artists to be announced. Tickets available online at islandetickets.com. All Häagen-Dazs outlets nationwide. And Ojo World, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Shagaramas. Conquering all the obstacles.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago, it's your turn. The N3ATT hosts its 2022 National Junior Championships at the Dwight York Stadium on July 9th and 10th at 10 a.m. on both days. Admission $40. Children under 12 are free. Come see the best junior athletes from across Trinidad and Tobago, including those from the 2022 Carifta Games. This is the last opportunity for athletes to attain the qualification standard for the World Under 20 Championships to be held in Cali, Colombia from August 1st to 6th. Tobago, come out and support the National Junior Championships, July 9th and 10th at the Dwight York Stadium.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, We can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. It's Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and I am Aliyah Hola. And in this segment, I'm going to be very biased because I'm from the East, and we have a whole East gal on set with me by the name of Kenya Yaya Kodna. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Miss Aliyah.
Right. First, tell the viewers, who is Yaya? We always saying about this Yaya playing football thing. Who exactly is Yaya?
Well, as I always put it, just a humble soul from Speyside who started football at the age of 6, who turned into a monster. So that is the Kenya Yaya Kodna.
Short and sweet viewers. She just laid down the real humble and nice sweet. But we would have seen Yaya play with Australia, Paraguay, and then she would have been signed in November to play with Turkey. Tell us about that experience for you. How was the environment, everything from the signing straight up?
The environment from the first day that I went to sign with the team was pretty overwhelming. Because coming from Norway and transferring to Turkey was something familiar, something new to me. And the first day I arrived there, like everyone, the players, the coaches, they treated me like I was family. So I then said to myself, this is my place. And from that day till the last ball kicked, I was just family oriented and just growth around the team.
Right. When we say that Yaya is a monster, we're talking about 21 goals and thing, real vibes. She was very proud of that moment. 21 goals, 3 assists, real vibes. That is the monster we're talking about.
Correction.
But, true.
34 goals.
Sorry. tell people how much goals, because I cannot take this.
34 goals, 15 assists, 27 games.
Big up she. But she has brought the talents, everything to Tobago, and she's now going back home to Tobago, and she's now going to host Monster Mentality. So the Monster hosting Monster Mentality. Tell us, what is Monster Mentality all about?
Well, that name stemmed from Yaya Monster. And after Kobe Bryant, his death, because he was Mamba Mentality, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should rename myself the Monster Mentality. But with the tournament and stuff that I'm about to host, first off, I would like to say thanks to the sponsors, because without them this wouldn't be possible. And me, I started at the age of 6 on the same field in Speyside, and I always wanted to give back, because a lot of people helped me get into where I was, and the youths of today need to be appreciated, because far too long we take them for granted, and they need to have something to be grateful for, instead of just being there going and kick around and not having no one to look up to. So as a way of giving back, to mentor them or to guide them to get the same opportunity or even better opportunities that I had. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing that.
And tell us, how do people register for Monster Mentality Football Tournament?
Well, it's in my link on Instagram and also on Facebook, but my number is also on the flyer, so they could contact me, so I could either shoot them a text message with the link.
Okay, could you give out your phone contact and stuff like that to let them know?
Well, my phone number is 278-7102.
For the event itself, is there a specific age group? What exactly is going to take place? Is it strictly football?
Strictly football on that day, because I want the kids to just have fun. Come out and showcase their talent and have fun.
And what is the necessary age groups, the different categories?
Well, you 8 boys, you 10 boys, you 12 boys, you 14 boys, and you 17 girls.
Is it, after this entire football tournament, what are some of the prizes that they will get? Because you know young people does only good things sometimes. to win things?
Well, they're in for a surprise, so you can't spoil the surprise just yet. You cannot share out all the information, so on the day, they have to come and be in for a treat.
All right. Shifting back things to Yaya. So, after this event, what are you going to be doing? Come back and coach some of the children. What is there left for Yaya to happen?
Well, my plans is to coach after I finish with football. And on the other hand, Speyside Junior Academy will be renamed Monster Mentality Speyside Junior Academy. Because I didn't want to start my own academy to take away from Speyside. So I came on board with them so that I could generate more stuff into the foundation so the youths could grow in a better way.
All right. And the biggest question that's out there that everybody asking, cannot do this interview and ask the question, but we would have seen the national team playing without Yaya, with no chemistry. Just going to ask you why, how, not on the national team?
Well, that's a question that I don't like to get into because of circumstances. But at the end of the day, I made a decision based on what I think was right, and that's what I did. So not because I'm not on the national team, it's because something I did wrong. It's based on something that happened behind doors that I had to pull away from the national team.
All right. So I forgot to ask you to tell the viewers, when will Monster Mentality be? When exactly is it, so that persons know when to look out for it? And does registration have a closing date?
Well, registration date closed on the 14th of July, but the tournament kicks off on the 16th of July, 9 a.m. sharp, no later than 9:30. Not going on Trinidad and Tobago time anymore. 9 a.m., 9:30 start. You come late, you're not taking part. Story done.
Story done all there. See, done on that. But at what point in the football industry do you know that it's time to pack up shop and come home and that's it for football?
For me, when my body say it's time, then I will give up football. But as of now, I'm planning to play until I'm 45.
Big up you. But before 45, right? Before the ultimate reaching of 45, what do you intend to achieve more than what you have already achieved with the entire time in football? Like, what's the goal from here on to 45?
Well, basically, I had dreams to qualify for a World Cup, but every time it seems to have some problems that have to pull me away from the national team. But other than that, I just want to continue to go out and play with my clubs and do my best, win championship, play in Champions League, get the top score, and all these type of stuff to continue to put Tobago on the map. Because mind you, in Turkey, they don't know where Tobago is.
Is it that besides playing with national team, can't you qualify for World Cup anywhere else?
No, because I'm not on any other country national team.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much for joining us, and we do wish you all the best with Monster Mentality Football Tournament, and we hope that it will be a success. So thank you very much for joining us in studio.
Thank you for having me.
Now we have a birthday that was missed last week. Happy birthday to Miss Julia Thomas, the best seamstress that you could ever have. Happy belated birthday to you. Wishing you all the best from here, there and out. And moving on to good stuff, we have congratulations to Mr. Gat Jacob, number 2191 from Tobago on his promotion to Assistant Divisional Fire Officer. He is one of the 7 nationally promoted on June 28, 2022. This photo is courtesy of the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. Congratulations to you, Mr. Jacob, and continue to make Tobago proud. Viewers, remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair. Cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy.
For plants for your
And I'm
garden
not
or
talking-
even a thoughtful gift for a friend, we at Eden Nurseries are waiting to welcome you with our affordable prices and variety of indoor and outdoor plants, flowers, palms, soil blends, pots, landscaping services, maintenance, irrigation services, and water features. Visit our garden shop and nursery Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. located at the back of Orange Hill Gas Station, Shore Park, Tobago, or call us 639-0776 and let us help you bring your garden to life.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolines, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy your treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
I am Aliyah Ola and we are here this summer. It's all about vibes and energy. Big up Dynasty event and we'll be taking you through the entire event and ensure that you have this experience with us. Coming to you live from the Tobago Stadium Parade Ground. From Red FM 96.7, you know, when you wake up on a morning, Red FM always hot, the vibes are real nice. So, good morning to you, and how are you?
Morning, love, morning, love. Yeah, what's going on there? After the 2 years that we've been inside, we outside, and we starting the summer with pain this summer. Since we started this summer with pain this summer, right? Tell us, how was pain this summer
summer been for you since it's the first event to start this summer?
Well, to tell you the truth, baby, to be honest, folks, it is very, 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 very special to be in Tobago after so long. Because Tobago, special to me, you know. I use this same venue here. I do Chinatown years ago, right? Right here. That was like about 2012, 2013. Nobody come. So to come back to Tobago and see this, that's what we're talking about. Big up Tobago, big up Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? Big up Tobago update same way.
Right, so he now come off, he hot and sweaty. Tell us, how was the vibes in Paint this summer?
Yo, the vibes nice. The vibes, I never know what to say but nice. The vibe, who ain't come out, miss out. Trust me. Trust me. The system sound good. They set up the venue nice. Ladies come out, fellas come out, but we got the ladies in the seat show.
Right, and tell us, since it's been the event to kick off this summer for Tobago, because you know summer is July, August, tell us, how do you feel playing at the first event to kick off this summer?
Honestly, it's an honor, but I must say, big up to Dynasty Events. They kick it off real nice, steam, no pretense, and I like that. Everybody come out to have a good time, and you can see there, everybody having a good time. It's a no stushness. It's a no watch face. Everybody having a good time. You hear my voice gone. Voice gone. Hello. You see Paint?
Yeah, tell me what Paint here on. Oh, it's not Aaron already. It's all there. Oh, it's not Aaron. It's not, wait. Oh, it's not Aaron. 3D. Tell me how it's Paint. Oh, it's not Aaron.
Now, right now, Paint out of this world. Are you hearing me? Paint out of this world right now. It has nothing better than Paint. I say so. It has nothing better than Paint. Nothing. Come. So, All-Star Aaron, how does it feel to play at the first summer event for the season? How does it feel? Well, it feels very good. I felt like I win a medal. I feel honored to be a part of Dynasty events, and I'm looking forward to many more. What do you think about the event and the settings and everything? This is a very international level. Right now I feel like I'm in Jamaica or Chinatown right now. Very nice. And we have Snoopy here right now. Snoopy, tell us from an announcer point of view. How does it feel to interact with the people in Paint?
Listen to me, I feel very lovely to finally be back outside. You know what I'm saying? It's been 2 long years and we needed this, we needed to release. And Dynasty Events has brought it once again. Another memorable event. Paint this summer. Tobago, Trinidad, the world. Look out for it. Dynasty Events to the world. Outside.
Yes! Big up Tobago updates one time.
Thank you very much. I know about me, Mike. After that, talk about me whole interview, but remember, you have your Tobago updates with out and bad for Paint this summer. I want to give we here with Tempa, and she's going to tell us about the first time being in Tobago. How was this experience for you?
It was nice. I enjoyed the performance. I love the energy of the crowd. It was nice. Well, I was nervous at first, but you know when I come on, I realized they don't accept me already, so that was nice.
Alright, and how does it feel to be at Paint this summer, the event that starts off this summer for Tobago?
Man, feel nice, man, feel nice, I feel good. Yeah.
So you know, I can't interview you at the end, give me TEMPA in the center. I can't interview you at the end, give me that. So you want to give me a piece of that?
TEMPA in the center. And when I reach in the shots, remember, feel lead, oh back. Temper, opinion, fat, yeah, so when you bite your lips and look back, you know, say you love it when you clutch back. Oh God, you are the best my eyes ever seen. Your body good and you not got no STDs. Oh, big up Tobago updates, them funny, see no long talk on his team. Die realize.
Dynasty Events most beautiful committee members, and she's going to tell us what or who is Dynasty Events.
So Dynasty Events is Kristen Phillips, his wife, Afisha Smart, and a group of guys that decided, his close friends that decided that they want to make Tobago a better place. They want to bring something to Tobago that has never been introduced before, and for this paint being the third one running, it has been amazing. It continues to grow, it continues to expand. People's expectations are being met, and we are so thankful.
Alright, and we know Dynasty Events usually have a lot of other events. Can you tell us what are some of those?
So we normally have floats and bikinis, that's for the summertime, but because of COVID, you know, things had to so long and rearrange and change. So stay tuned, we have a lot more things. Floats and bikinis, sure, and we have a little bit of surprise. We can't give you too much of it out. You know, we want to surprise the whole Tobago team, the Tobago crowd, because we really want to add something different. We want to stand out and be like, okay, Dynasty Events, we know what we're looking forward to. We know that they're going to exceed our expectations and things are just going to be amazing.
Alright, could you tell us a little bit about the preparation for paint this summer?
Oh my gosh, it was mad crazy. We've been planning for months, and every step of the way there was always something that we needed to add, something to make it so extravagant. So this year we had a lot more different things. So as you can see, we had a bigger location because the people wanted more. We have foam, we have water, we gave a lot of giveaways, we had packages.
We outside, Ben! We outside!
Could you tell us some of the sponsors of this event?
Johnny Q, Blue Heron, Blue Waters, Campari, Plate Export, Dixie, Hennessy, White Oak, Pink Moscato, Stamina Emily Drink, Johnny Walker, Magnum. I think that's all. No. This summer, we're outside.
So as you can see, we had a lot more sponsors on board because they see the vision that we have for Dynasty Events, and they are ready and willing to make it bigger and better. So we thank all the sponsors so very much. Thank you for coming on board with us, and we promise you that we will not disappoint. Tobago, we are not going to disappoint you. We're going to give you bigger and better every single year. Dynasty Events.
Alright, and that's it for Dynasty Events at Paint this summer. I am Leah Hola, and it was a pleasure covering this fantastic event. Shout out to Philly, Julian, Tiba, everybody on the Dynasty team. Paint this summer, and remember, Dynasty Events, we out and bad.
Well, I really wanted to go. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You are viewing the best one and only Youth Wednesdays youth show in Tobago. Alia, I think I want to come next time. I'm coming next time. I already full work, so they'll paint me up, wet me up, everything.
I just want the viewers to know that youth host Jenny set me up bad. She really set me up. Like, I said, Johnny, you're doing interview, bam thing. Before 7 o'clock, Johnny, out. So, alright, higher back, sis. We outside.
Hey, don't be thinking my fellow country girl like that, eh?
My fellow country girl too.
Alright, so Johnny, darling, good morning to you. I know you're viewing us. Thank you for the support. We miss you. Girl, I miss you. How long me see you come through now? In fact, I'll call you after the show, girl. Right? But I really want to come
right now they have
He's trouble. But we have
Tobago.
up next we have Tobago back in the day. So stay tuned for the photo. I wonder where this is, boy. Why this look like no man's land? No, this is not no man's land. This is space side.
It's like country.
Yeah, this space side. I think Goat Island and no, that Goat Island. Yes, Goat Island. No, what this is?
It look like country to me.
I wonder if it's Castor.
I don't know.
Tell me where this is, Paltoville?
Come the other side.
Black Rock.
Come here.
Tell us. I even have clueless. All right, we're looking at the chat to see who got the right answer. Who has the right answer? Somebody see Jamaica, yes? Just kidding. So guys, tell us where you think this is. Alright, and we come down with the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is, drum roll please, Louis Dore. Louis Dore in the house this morning. So big up Louis Dore. And this is in what year? Yeah, this is like 1500s. Right? But you know it's a very old photo of Louis Dore. So Louis Dore in the house, big up you. And I think Louis Dore has seen some developments. Look, it doesn't have the 3 houses or the 1 house we see in there anymore. But a big up Louis Dore. So unfortunately, this brings us to the end of the Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates morning show. It was a pleasure being your co-host. And please don't forget to shoot me an invitation. And before we go, I also had a very eventful weekend to which I invited my lovely co-host Miss Holder. She set me up to go to Paint. We were to do a photo shoot. When I do get those photos, we should be interviewing the persons who would have asked me to do their photo shoot for a promotion for their business, right? So stay tuned for those photos, although please don't laugh me. I did my best.
It was a pleasure being here with you guys this morning. This was an amazing show. We had an eventful weekend. Everything was compact. We left out in, but he will be there next time. But remember to share the life as we go back to Tobago News.
Morning, put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
Rennie Kwao, Olympic medalist and one of this country's most decorated 400 meters athletes, now has his own home. Rennie was recently honored by the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. He received keys to a home at Plymouth's Homes of Adventure.
It feels good, all my hard work over the years. It's no big deal. Hard work pays off, so in the end, I was expecting something like this, so I really appreciate it though.
Yes, I do really feel happy about it, and it's hard work paid off. We're very happy.
Additionally, close to 700 families in Tobago got checks to improve their homes. In all, $9 million was presented to the families, making it the largest single disbursement by the Settlements Division.
These times call for financial acumen, prudence, strategic direction, and most importantly, compassion. This is also important to me and Assistant Secretary George. Nothing is more important than caring for our people, and today's disbursement of $9.2 million in our public commitment to upholding our oath of office.
And is an indication that we understand the need to respond to the growing social needs of our island's people, especially the most vulnerable.
Chief Secretary of Tobago, Honorable Fali Augustine, says his administration aims to develop the greatest little island on the planet. The first step, protecting and caring for the most vulnerable.
We know what it is to have humble dwellings, but dwellings that are well taken care of
clean and immaculate. This program is part of a larger dream that we have for the Tobago that we are called to serve. It's a dream that we will have home ownership that Tobagonians can afford. And you should never be in a position that you can't afford to live here. It's a dream that when people are affected by natural disasters, you can immediately, without a whole heap of red tape, get help.
Our mandate is to provide an adequate standard of living for everyone, regardless of color, complexion, denomination, that is religious, or political persuasion. Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which basically states that it is a right for all human beings, I'm not quoting it, I'm just paraphrasing it, it gives a right to all human beings to enjoy an adequate standard of living. There must be a basic standard of living. A basic standard of living. In our Industrial Relations Act, Section 20 of the Act speaks of every employee being able to maintain and improve a standard of living. All right? We are concerned about the standard of living in Tobago.
And those who received grants were eager to begin the necessary work to improve their homes.
Yes, I thought they had forgotten me, but when I got the call to come today, I felt really elated. Yeah, I am not going to stick because I've been waiting for so long. Yeah, so I'm going to get my hands on material and begin work as soon as possible.
The check distribution ceremony was hosted at the Shore Park complex.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and here's your news in 90 seconds. Contract renewals are not automatic within the Tobago House of Assembly. A letter from the Chief Secretary to all secretaries, assistant secretaries and administrators stated that when an employment contract comes to an end, re-engagement is not guaranteed. He explained that if a contracted employee wants re-engagement, they must submit a file with an updated resume and staff appraisal. The line secretary will then use that information to determine if the individual should be re-engaged. Failure to provide the necessary documents will result in delays and an outright denial of approval. Meanwhile, all workers attached to the tourism industry are invited to a special town hall meeting this afternoon. The meeting will be hosted by the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. From the meeting, the division hopes to understand the challenges faced by workers in the industry. They are also looking out for solutions and ideas workers have towards improving the tourism industry. The town hall meeting is scheduled for 5 p.m. today at the Ann Mitchell Gift Auditorium in the Scarborough Library. Now for news emanating out of Trinidad, Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines wants citizens to report police officers who break the law to the Police Complaints Authority. Hines was responding to questions posed by the opposition in Parliament yesterday about Monday's protest actions in and around Port-of-Spain. Recently, the PCA concluded 2 investigations to determine there was an abuse of power by the police. The DPP is now investigating the reports to determine what action should be taken against the officers. Meanwhile, officers named in the report are assigned to desk duty awaiting an outcome. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And of course, we have a lot of developments happening there, especially as it regards to just the recent events over the weekend. As the whole country has been speaking about for the past few days, I mean, the crime situation seems to be very, very bad down there in Trinidad. We've had way too many murders happening in just the course of a few days. I mean, there's a whole lot of questions being asked. I mean, there is questions among the population in regards as to when we can have a little sense of normalcy, when this state of murders would no longer be a part of our society. You know, and then of course we've had these situations with police officers against residents in certain areas. There is that constant cry of victimization in some areas. And then of course we've had the damning reports from the PCA regarding the recent investigations, noting that there was an abuse of power within the police in certain circumstances. In the meantime, though, we have this morning, it's our pleasure to bring to you Mr. Gary Griffith, who is a former Commissioner of Police. And Mr. Griffith is reapplying for that position. So I just want to say a special good morning to you, sir, and how are you doing?
Hi, good morning, Tobago. I'm fine, thank you.
All right, great, Mr. Griffith. Now, on Saturday, when you made that announcement to the nation that you are going to reapply for the position of Commissioner of Police, you said that the country is in dire crisis right now. And I want you to explain what you meant by that.
Well, sure. When I left as Commissioner of Police in those last 8 months, from January to August last year, it was the highest reduction in crime. We were actually going at just about 320 murders per annum. So which would have been, the last time we had that would have been about 15, 17 odd years ago. So we were going in the right direction. It had nothing to do with COVID, as some people try to use as an excuse, because after I left, 4 months after that, there was still a state of emergency, there was still COVID, and we got the highest number of murders in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, which should be in November last year. So obviously there's a concern. In the last 8 months, we are now looking at probably heading to over 600 murders per annum. It is the highest. So from the highest reduction in crime, we are now seeing the highest spike in crime. I think it can be turned around. There were dozens of different policies, plans, programs that we put in place. It's similar to things that would have been done that could have prevented or minimized the incidents that took place over the weekend. But because these things have all been dismantled, shut down, removed, the byproduct now is an escalation in crime. The only reason I reapplied for the post is simply because the vast majority of the country, there have been polls being done on TV6, CNC3, Express, Loop, Boom Champions, about 10 different media houses, and they've all been put in polls of between 86 to 95% of people demanding that I reapply as Commissioner of Police. That is the only reason I've done so. If you want to serve the public, you have to adhere to the views of the public. The voice of people being the voice of God. So I can only do what I can do, and if it is that the public has asked me to reapply, that is what I have done.
All right. I want you to give me an idea of how do you feel about the events over the weekend, and especially culminated in that protest actions on Monday?
Yeah, sure. I wish to firstly hats off commendation to the hardworking men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. Yet again, they came when it was required and did what was required. The concern, however, is obviously that it was chalk and cheese to what we would have seen 2 years ago, when there were probably about 20 times or 30 times more protests and simultaneous roadblocks than what took place over the last 2 days. But we were able to get that eliminated within virtual minutes at times, compared to several hours that took place for just 2 or 3 different places being blocked. Something that always is a concern to me is that there's a saying, you cannot be half pregnant. And what we have seen is sometimes you will see a counselor in his 70s with 3 old ladies by a bridge in Deep South or Central or somewhere, and the police will immediately arrest them for burning tires or blocking the road. Whereas that same degree of action that should have taken place over that on Monday, because there's video footage of persons throwing tires, throwing debris, and the police are actually watching it. You can't do that. If you do that, it starts to give the perception that there's double standard. It gives the perception that the police are being politicized, and that is a no-no. In my 3 years, all of that stopped. And I said it, and I mean, it may be unfortunate, but as much as you have your needs and concerns, and if it is that you need your bridge repaired, you need your roads repaired, you need your drains repaired, it cannot be at the expense of law-abiding citizens being inconvenienced. That could also affect their lives. Somebody might be rushing to take their loved ones to the hospital, having to pick up your child from school. So my concept is, anytime you block you block the roads, you put debris, and you are wrong, I take your wicket. Regardless of whether you're a councillor, regardless of whether you're from the beatum, you do it right across the board. So you can't, and we saw several instances where the police arrested councillors and persons in other places, but then Monday, they started to moonwalk. And therein lies the problem of that type of leadership. You've got to have a no-nonsense approach. For those 3 years I was there, that could not have taken place. The era of burning tires, debris, blocking roads, it stopped. What they started doing was doing it and running. Now they're standing up there, they're boasting about it, they're waiting for the media to come, and they continue to throw debris in the eyes of the media and the eyes of the police. That is ridiculous. We're seeing people breaking the law, and you're not doing anything about it. Let me further add that many things that I put in place have unfortunately been dismantled. I established over 1,500 body cameras. I put a standard operational procedure that anytime police officers go out on a patrol, a roadblock, a warrant, an exercise, an operation, you turn on your body cameras. That concept has stopped. Had it been done, it could very well have rectified the situation, and we could have seen, even as that these young men had actually been firing at the police, we could have seen if the police acted in an inappropriate manner. But unfortunately, because Gary Griffith established the body cameras, shelve it. Same thing, I had a proper communication crisis management system. I had an alert state. We had the National Operations Center, the Commissioner's Command Center, the Police Operations Center, emergency response vehicles. We had all the systems in place to try to peg back and minimize what took place 2 years ago, as I said, which was about 30 times more volatile than what took place on Monday. And the reason is because we had those systems. We had systems to ensure proper communication between arms of the protective services, which ensuring that we can liaise with the Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Works and Transport, and the public, letting the public be aware of what is happening, so to prevent undue panic, to prevent persons get pumping out fake news, to minimize and reduce, and if not eliminate, the massive traffic congestions we saw. So unfortunately, with all of these things continue to be dismantled and shut down because of politicizing of the police service, the citizens unfortunately pay the price.
All right, well, Mr. Griffith, also coming out in recent days was that PCA report that highlighted that there was abuse of power from certain officers, and those officers misled the Commissioner of Police, or the Acting Commissioner of Police, McDonald Jacobs. And I want to get a view from you about this situation, because this is the first damning report we've had in a while coming out against the police.
Well, you know, as I said, there will always be rogue elements in every police service throughout the world. What you need to do is to provide deterrence and to ensure that there will be consequences. And there were many things across the board. I actually discovered over $100 million in overtime corruption in the police service that I eliminated, that I stepped on toes with it. And it was just a small handful of police officers. Likewise, certain police officers will be involved in protecting criminal elements. I was able to have them either, if not suspended, removed from that location. Some of them were brought back to those same locations after I left. So there would always be those aspects. What you do to minimize that, and again, going back to that Diego Martin situation, had the body cameras been mandated and been turned on, we would have seen exactly what transpired, and then the Commissioner of Police may not have been misled by his officers at that time. But we heard the communication person for the police service now stating that you can't force police officers to use body cameras because there's no law that mandates it. I mean, you can't make a more stupid statement. The commissioner of police could mandate and direct the officers, you must wear the body cameras, you must turn on the body cameras, and failure to do that, you will be immediately suspended. That is how you deal with the running a police service. Not say, well, there's no law, so we can't force the officers to wear a body camera. It gives the perception that you deliberately do not want the body cameras worn for some specific reason. And that is the point where I'm speaking that if it is you put the systems in place that we had, then it will eliminate many of these situations, and it will pinpoint and target the rogue elements in the police service, or use those same systems to protect and defend police officers if wrongfully accused.
How do you go about restoring that confidence? Because it seems as in recent times, the confidence in the police service has gone down.
Well, you know, when I became Commissioner of Police, public trust and confidence was 14%, 1-4. When I left, it went up to 55%. It was the highest we ever had. And there were many things I put in place: proper training, proper customer service training, protocol, getting police officers to understand and respect citizens. We did support our service to get the business sector to work with the police officers. And above all, finance systems to let police officers know that there are mechanisms we are providing to have the average citizen report you without fear of victimization or reprisal, such as app reporting, online reporting, the 482 Gary. That allowed many citizens to come forward, give information, so police officers realize, look, if I'm in a roadblock and I decide to shout and scream at someone without reason, it could very well end up in Gary Griffith's office. So it ensured that there were consequences, and those things have all been eliminated. The app reporting, the online reporting systems. So for someone to report police now, they have to go to a station. You go to a station, the officer might be friends of that same officer. So with all of those things that have collapsed, it has caused many of the few rogue elements in the police service to realize it is our time again to do what we want, when we want, how we want, and there are little consequences. There's little fear that disciplinary action can be taken on me. It all has to do with not politicizing national security, not politicizing the police service, and if something was working, there was no need to have removed it.
How confident are you that politics would be removed from the decision of the selection of a new commissioner of police, given everything that has happened in recent times?
Well, the politics would take part, and the reason being, and that is the obvious thing, our constitution is so flawed that regardless of the fact that I may have reduced crime higher than any other commissioner before, I might be the most popular commissioner of police ever, I might be the person the vast majority would like me to be there, I would have increased public confidence and trust. All of that becomes totally irrelevant because our constitution says one man and one man alone is going to decide who is commissioner of police. That is the prime minister, because he will direct his ministers. So the 1.4 million people have no say. The public has no say. The business sector has no say. The police service commission have no say. The results, the findings, the data, the polls, the crime reduction, all of that becomes totally irrelevant, and one person can make the decision if he or she likes or does not like someone. That is a banana republic constitution, and it says a lot about our country that we can cause and have caused this to happen. Because, and I'm not saying it with this prime minister, but suppose there's a commissioner of police who is investigating a government or government officials or even a prime minister. He can easily say, this man is getting too close, I need to remove him and get somebody who can be a puppet for me. And I'm not saying that's happening here, but I'm showing that because of our constitution, it can cause this to happen. And that shows the dangers. The reason why it is I got back into politics was to ensure that we amend the constitution, because the constitution is so flawed. It is what is known as democracy via dictatorship. It is dictatorship when one person can make full decisions, handpick a president, probably the chief justice, speaker of the house, president of the senate, all state board members, commissioner of police, chief of defense staff. That is a sign of dictatorship, and we pretend it's under the cloak of democracy. It must be changed. The constitution must be changed to diminish the powers of that one man or woman.
All right, and you also said that the merit list should be removed, and of course the merit list is given towards the president, and they make the selection and that sort of thing. But I just want to give me an idea why you want that merit list to be removed.
No, I didn't call it stating that it was to be removed. I said it was removed last time unfairly, unjustly, because the president refused to do a job. She refused to forward it to Parliament as law. So we have a president who did not adhere to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. It's as straightforward as that. It shows how dangerous we have reached. My thing is not the merit list to be removed. There is a merit list, and the merit list must be based on the person who has achieved the highest number of points. 3 years ago, I got the highest number of points by a mile. And the then Police Service Commission said, let us ignore the points and put Gary Griffith forth. So I have the data to show that I placed the highest, I got the highest number of points. I got 82%. Stephen Williams came second with 76 of all the people who applied for Commissioner of Police. And the Police Service Commission said, we don't care. We put you forward because that's how we feel. Now, that's again the danger, because the Police Service Commission is appointed by whom? By the same one individual. So he can handpick the president, who will handpick the Police Service Commission, and they can put people who they want. And then it means that you can pick up a phone and direct them to stay and do what you want. The second time the merit list came up, I again topped it. And again, because of political interference, it caused a whole disaster. It caused a whole Police Service Commission to collapse. And nobody has asked about a commission of inquiry. Nobody has asked for an investigation. Nobody has asked that you should find out what it is that the chairman did that will cause it to illegally try to remove a sitting commissioner of police. And all of these things go under the carpet, because this is a 7-day wonder country. It will go away and we move on. We can't move on. We should not be moving on. My perception is that if there's a merit list and the person is whoever is placed first based on the exams, that will go to Parliament. But the Parliament decision should be made not by one man, but probably by lifting the whip, and let members of Parliament decide for themselves. Because the reason this goes to Parliament is because the 41 members of Parliament, their job is to secure their constituents. So the members of Parliament should not be making decisions based on what their political leader tell them, but based on who they feel is the best person to ensure the safety and security of constituents in their constituency.
All right. Now, you recently launched your party, the National Transformation Alliance. But would this be a conflict of interest with your aim to become the next police commissioner?
Yeah, not at all, because that's just like saying, and I mean, there's this guy from 95.5, Darian Marcel. Anytime you want to hear total bias of one view alone, which is the PNM's view, you turn on 95.5. It is the politically biased station in the country. He had the audacity to state that. And my point being is that suppose you are the head of the PNM Youth League at 22, and at 23 ads come out to apply to be in the police service. Are you saying that because you are in charge of the PNM Youth League, or even the UNC Youth League, that you should not be eligible to be a police recruit because you were involved in politics before? The answer is no, obviously, because Gary Griffith was the Minister of National Security, and just after I became Commissioner of Police. So it shows that you can easily move from being political to then get into law enforcement. You cannot be in law enforcement and be political at the same time, which is what, as Commissioner of Police, I stated, and I suspended police officers. You can't be serving in the police service and be boasting that you want to be on a political arm of a government or a political party. That is something totally different. In fact, let me add that nobody can be more neutral than myself, because I'm in a political party that has no authority, no power, no influence, because this political party that I'm in has no involvement or part of any of the 41 members of Parliament, any of the state board members, or any of the 120 odd persons who are in regional corporations as councillors or aldermen. So it shows that I am neither PNM nor UNC. I have no political bias to the PNM or the UNC, which is what you should have as a Commissioner of Police, somebody that goes in there that is not biased towards the opposition or the government. So the most perfect person that will show political not being biased will be myself, because the other candidates, you don't know if they are biased to PNM or UNC, and it is their right. But at least I have openly shown that I am neither fish nor fowl, I'm neither red nor yellow, I'm neither ketchup nor mustard, I'm neither government nor opposition, which means that the same way I operated as the Commissioner of Police, very neutral, very impartial, very independent. Persons on both sides were arrested, persons on both sides were released. And it shows my independence when it comes to law enforcement.
All right, I also want to get from you your view about the management of the police at this point in time. How do you view that?
Well, one of the things that's important is to improve morale and motivation of the police officers. And that is critical. One of the things you must do is leadership by example. What I always did, and I always stated, is that I have no intention to have anyone under my command do anything that I'm not prepared to do myself. So whether you see me in operations, in sea lots, in Carnival directing traffic, but being out in the waters with the Marine unit. That is what I do. That is how I operate. I hope that senior officers can do the same thing, not just put on gabardine, have a cane in their hand and sit down behind a desk. We do not need administrative officers. We need dynamic persons that will go out there and be prepared to be in the firing line, literally, with the men and women under your command, not stay in an office in an air-conditioned building. And I'm not saying that is happening now. What I do know is that we need that type of leadership, we need that type of direction, and we need to embrace technology. Technology is something that has been shut down since I left. And I'll give you a simple example. What happened 2 years ago, as I said, there were 40 consecutive simultaneous blocking of roads and so forth. We were able to shut that down within virtual minutes. 200 men were coming down Frederick Street to destroy Port of Spain. The police service alone, we were able to shut it down by having an operation center, a command center, GPS tracking of police vehicles, dashboard cameras, body cameras, making sure that we had covert operators, we had intelligence systems, we were getting information fed in real time, and also something that is used by NYPD, LAPD, where it is you have that social media monitoring through technology of what can be known as the digital breadcrumb trail, monitoring and seeing what is happening. And we did that 2 years ago. So we had the preemptive strike to do what is known as predictive policing, intelligence-driven policing, where we were able to prepare. So as soon as they started blocking the roads during peak hours, we immediately shut it down. I was liaising directly with the Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Local Government. All of this type of technology, it is there. It is there, it can and should be used, inclusive of going back to the body cameras. But all of these things have been shut down because some people fear change. They don't see the value of technology. But if we keep saying that the only type of policing is when there's a public holiday, let's have a roadblock for 3 hours and inconvenience citizens. That is not how you do policing, because that roadblock after 15 minutes becomes irrelevant because the criminal elements are aware through ways that the roadblock is still is ongoing. So you're going to divert with your drugs and your weapons or whatever. So all you're doing is inconvenience. You're putting inconvenience to citizens for no actual purpose. That is the type of dynamic, proactive 21st century policing we need to see.
All right, great. And finally, Mr. Griffith, I want you to share with me, well, if you have the information, about what's the latest in that FUL investigation, that whole debacle that sort of resulted in the situation that we have now.
Yeah, sure. And again, it shows that when it is that this country, we must stop the banana republic. We have a prime minister who listened to rum shop talk, he listened to gossip, he listened to an individual who sent a report that was not an official report because it was a 2-man committee. But this civilian sends the report with, it is rumored, it is alleged, and I have heard. And the prime minister took that as bona fide and used that as an avenue to turn the president's house into a post office. But then, when he gets a special branch report from a bona fide agency as an intelligence report about his minister, he says he does not take actions on those reports because it's not evidence or fact. So you notice the hypocrisy, you notice the double standard there. On one avenue, a civilian with no qualification, no authorization gives you a report that is unsubstantiated, no evidence, no witnesses, no data, and you use that to cause a whole fiasco. So you listen to the rum shop talk there, but an agency sends bona fide information, and rightly so, he says, I can't act on it because this is not fact, this is intelligence. And those are the things that the country needs to see. So he brought all of this with FULs. Now notice, Stanley John, in a very foolish manner, said it was a massive, well-oiled criminal industry. 2 years later, nothing, because it was a lie. It was fake news. It was deliberately designed because you could not bring down Gary Griffith on performance, you could not bring him down on delivery, you could not bring him down on popularity. You had to lie and make up items. Stanley John will pay the price in the courts for his comments that he made about me, because there was nothing, no data, no research, no evidence, no witnesses, all lies. And he will pay the price for that in court. But that is what we used. And again, going back to the FUL situation, in my 3 years, not one FUL that I issued was lost, was stolen, was used for a crime, or was used to commit a murder. Most of it would have been given to police officers, prison officers who needed it. And it is the right of a commissioner to give firearms to citizens if it is that the state cannot properly protect them. What I was doing was the right thing, and unfortunately, people had an agenda, and the country is now paying the price for it.
All right, great. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Griffith, for joining us and just giving us an update on what's been happening and your intentions to reapply for Commissioner of Police, and maybe you could be here in Tobago.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Take care.
Again, all right, viewers, well, we have come to the end of the program, and I just want to thank you so much for joining us. And I want to remind you people as well, those of you in the tourism sector, workers, waitresses, taxi drivers, workers at souvenir stores, wherever you are within the tourism sector, there is that consultation happening at 5 o'clock this afternoon at the Anne Mitchell Gift Auditorium in the Scarborough Library. So be sure to take part in that, give your views, present your challenges, your solutions, whatever ideas that you have. Go and be a part of the discussions and the movement forward. All right, so that's it from me, Candace Jackson, for Good Morning Tobago. Thanking you again for joining us and wishing that you have a very wonderful, productive, and safe day. And we'll see you again in the morning with the Good Morning Show for Tobago Updates. Bye for now.